Ever wonder how airline giants like, say, Lufthansa and British Airways managed to stay ahead? I mean, the global travel world is incredibly competitive.
Oh, absolutely. And you shared some really interesting market research on their strategies. It's clear they're not just flying planes.
Right. They seem to be masters of understanding what their rivals are up to.
Exactly. We're doing a deep dive today into this report from Cognitive Market Research, analyzing competitor strategies, Lufthansa and British Airways market research studies.
Okay.
And this isn't just a quick look. It's really about dissecting their approaches with some real precision.
So it's more than just knowing who the other airlines are. What kind of information, what kind of intel are they really digging into, according to this research?
Well, the report highlights several key areas. They do these really thorough competitor analyses,
Hmm.
getting right into the weeds of what rivals are doing.
Okay.
They're also watching broader industry trends, constantly checking customer satisfaction levels
Yeah.
across the market, scrutinizing pricing models, tracking every single new route competitor's launch, and looking hard at service innovations.
Wow. Okay. So our goal here is to figure out how they actually pull all that together, turn it into strategy.
Precisely how they synthesize all that info into actionable strategies that give them an edge.
Fascinating. So let's get into the nitty gritty then. How do Lufthansa and British Airways actually conduct this market research? What methods are they using?
It's quite an interesting mix for both, actually.
Mm.
Lufthansa, the report suggests, frequently partners with third-party research firms.
Oh, okay. Why is that?
Well, it gives them that objective external benchmark, right? Puts their performance against competitors in clear view, highlights areas where they need to improve.
That outside perspective must be really valuable. What about British Airways? Similar approach or more in-house?
BA uses a blend. They've got internal research teams, but they also bring in external consultants.
Ah, a mix.
Yeah, so they can leverage their own deep operational know-how, but also, tap into specialized expertise when needed, especially for complex things like competitor pricing or route networks.
So it's not just what competitors offer, but the thinking behind the price tags and the routes. Interesting. Are there other ways they gather intel besides these like formal partnerships?
Oh, absolutely. The report really emphasizes a big investment by both in real-time data collection.
Real time. How does that work?
It means actively monitoring social media, like constantly scanning for passenger sentiment. They scrutinize customer feedback channels, analyze data from travel platforms almost as it happens.
Right.
It gives them this really current read on the market, lets them adapt strategies way faster than just relying on, say, quarterly reports.
That's where it gets really interesting, isn't it? Blending that deep dive traditional research with this sort of constant digital pulse check. It sounds very agile.
Exactly. It paints a picture of a very dynamic intelligence operation.
Now, I'm guessing technology must play a massive role in wading through all that data.
You guessed right. Both Lufthansa and BA are leveraging some seriously sophisticated tech. We're talking AI, machine learning, predictive analytics. The works.
Predictive analytics for airlines. Wow, that sounds complex. Can you give us a feel for how they actually use these tools?
Sure. The report gives some good examples. Lufthansa, for instance, uses AI tools to constantly monitor competitor pricing.
Constantly.
Yeah, and their marketing campaigns, even operational efficiency stuff like on-time performance. Imagine an AI just scanning the market, trying to understand why a price changed. Is it a sale? A reaction? A longer-term shift?
Wow, like having a 247 competitive analyst and British Airways. What's their tech angle for insights?
BA is heavily into big data analytics. This lets them track competitor performance, sure, but also gauge broader customer sentiment about those competitors.
Sentiment. Okay, so what people are feeling or saying.
Exactly. By crunching these huge data sets, they can spot emerging trends, maybe find market opportunities that wouldn't pop out from, standard reports. It's about connecting the dots.
Linking maybe social media buzz about delays to actual booking patterns.
Precisely that kind of thing. It's about finding those crucial insights hidden in the noise.
So they're both digging through data mountains for that competitive edge, and it sounds like understanding the customer is right at the heart of it.
It really is. Both airlines integrate CRM systems, customer relationship management.
Right, the CRM platforms.
Yeah, these sophisticated tools manage and analyze every customer interaction. This consolidated view lets them personalize services, which is huge in this industry.
Personalization is key.
If you really get your customers' preferences, you can tailor things in ways competitors might miss.
Okay, so they gather all this intel, use advanced tech to slice and dice it. What's the payoff? How does this actually shape strategy for Lufthansa and BA?
Right, this is where the rubber meets the runway, so to speak. The report gives concrete examples. For Lufthansa, analyzing competitor loyalty programs led directly to big improvements in their own Miles and More program. Well, they likely spotted weaknesses elsewhere. Maybe difficulty redeeming points and address those specific pain points to keep their frequent flyers happy. They also use insights to refine premium offerings, like the in-flight experience, digital services, keeping that appeal for business travelers.
That's smart. Not just matching, but finding the gaps. What about British Airways? How do insights drive their actions?
For BA, a big focus seems to be on boosting operational efficiency and the overall customer journey.
Mm-hmm.
By really evaluating competitor route networks, they've strategically expanded into underserved markets.
Underserved, okay.
Yeah.
So not just piling onto busy routes.
Exactly. It's about finding gaps where competitors are weaker
Hmm.
or maybe not present at all. It allows BA to build a strong position in potentially less crowded markets.
So it's proactive, finding opportunities based on where the competition isn't as strong. That feels more nuanced than just reacting.
Definitely.
Now, even in the same industry, these airlines have very distinct identities. They aren't trying to be clones. How does this competitor knowledge help them actually differentiate?
That's a great point. They aren't just copying. They use these insights strategically to sharpen their own unique value propositions. Lufthansa, the report notes, really pushes premium services, a growing focus on sustainability.
Yes, the green fare thing.
Exactly. Initiatives like the Green Fare and tech innovation, like investing in those state-of-the-art fuel-efficient jets. That Green Fare taps right into growing environmental awareness, attracting a specific customer segment.
That's a perfect example of using market understanding for unique offer. What's the core differentiation for BA then?
British Airways leans more on its heritage, that incredibly extensive global route network, and a kind of traditional customer-centric approach.
Heritage and network.
Right. They invest consistently in tangible travel experiences, cabin upgrades, nice lounges, user-friendly digital tools. They're leveraging that long-standing reputation and the sheer scale of their connections.
So it's a fascinating contrast. Lufthansa looking forward with sustainability and tech, BA emphasizing history and network reach.
And both informed by a deep understanding of their competitors to hone those distinct strategies.
But I imagine it's not always smooth sailing, right? What kind of challenges do even these giants face when analyzing competitors?
You're right, it's not foolproof. For Lufthansa, operating globally with all its subsidiaries, it's a huge challenge ensuring consistent service quality while tracking competitors across vastly different regions.
That global complexity must be tough for intelligence gathering. What hurdles does BA face?
For British Airways, it's often that balancing act, maintaining cost efficiency, which is critical in the airline business, while upholding that premium service reputation.
The cost versus quality tightrope.
Exactly. Analyzing what competitors offer at different prices and staying competitive without, cheapening the aspects their core customers value, it requires a very nuanced market read.
And I suppose both are always dealing with external shocks, things they can't control.
Absolutely. The report mentions that inherent unpredictability, shifting regulations, geopolitical issues messing with routes or demand, economic swings hitting travel budgets. Right.
You can have the best intel, but a sudden global event can just change the whole game board overnight.
So it sounds like constant adaptation is key, responding to competitors and the wider world. Finally, how does all this research feed into their long-term growth? It's not just about today or tomorrow, is it?
Not at all. For both, this research is fundamental to long-term sustainability and growth. Lufthansa uses insights to pick promising emerging markets for investment, develop those innovative products we talked about, and constantly optimize operations to stay lean.
So anticipating future growth, making strategic bets based on where the competition might be going, or maybe where they're missing opportunities.
Precisely. And British Airways, their approach to long-term growth via research.
BA uses the findings to streamline processes, improve customer retention, keeping existing customers happy is vital long-term, and proactively explore totally new revenue streams, potentially beyond just selling seats.
New revenue streams, interesting.
Yeah, by staying tuned to traveler needs and watching competitor moves, they can spot and jump on untapped opportunities. And didn't the report we looked at have a pretty stark statistic highlighting the impact of all this?
It did, yeah. A 2023 analysis found that European airlines, really using robust competitive intelligence like these two,
Mhm.
saw on average a 15% greater improvement in market share compared to airlines that weren't so structured in their research.
15%, that's significant. It really shows the tangible benefit, doesn't it?
Mm.
It's not just academic, it hits the bottom line.
Absolutely. A 15% market share bump that really drives home the value. Okay, so let's quickly recap. We've seen how Lufthansa and BA are deeply invested in researching competitors, using both traditional methods and cutting-edge tech.
Right.
These insights directly shape strategy, from loyalty programs to route planning. They use this intel to sharpen their distinct brand identities, and while there are challenges, this rigorous research is crucial for their long-term growth in this tough industry.
Exactly. And understanding these sophisticated strategies offers insights far beyond just airlines, really. It's a great window into how leading organizations in any field can stay ahead in a constantly changing world.
This has been a really fascinating deep dive, and it makes you think, knowing the sheer effort involved here in the airline sector, what areas in your own field, or even just areas you're interested in, could benefit from that same level of rigorous competitor analysis.
That's a great question.
Or, thinking about that 15% market share advantage, what game-changing insights might be hiding in the data all around us waiting to be uncovered? Definitely some food for thought there.